So I'm marching up to your gates today to throw my lonely soul away. 'Cause I don't need it, you can take it back.
Hoo hoo hey, la la la.
Hey, hey, who? Lily Lou. That's right. It's fun to say fun words because this is American Brews and Tunes.
Yeah.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity beeby dow. Welcome back to American Brews and Tunes.
Wow, how's it going, everybody? Hope
Hopefully
you're having
well.
a great day.
Yeah, my name is Steven Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And this is another one-off episode. So that means we're reviewing one album and one brew.
And it's going to be a great episode at that.
Yeah.
A great album.
Yeah, well, I hope
fantastic.
I hope it's a great episode as well.
Ah,
We already
yeah.
know that the album's great.
Because it's a one-off episode. We choose the album.
The brew, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah,
you know.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and hopefully the episode is a great combination of all things prior
Of all
discussed.
things that could be and are.
Yes, that's really a good way to phrase it, I suppose. Anyways, like we said, this is episode 59 of American Brews
my
and Tunes.
goodness.
And we're reviewing an album that is near and dear to our heart, and it's topical to us because this was one of the last shows that we went to in Rocktober.
Yes.
And it is the Menzingers.
Yep.
Now, I know we've reviewed their most recent album, which is
After
called
the
After the Party.
Party.
That was a little while ago. We're going
It
to
was, yeah.
go back 2 albums and review their album On the Impossible Past.
Yeah, we figured that since they're such a great band and we think that everybody should listen to them, we're going to review another one of their albums.
I think it's a great idea.
For that
This-
reason and that reason alone.
Yeah.
Well, not really. Also because it's awesome and we love it.
Which is, more true.
Yeah.
But anyways, before we delve into that fantastic album, shall we talk about a brew?
Yes.
All right, so we're having something a little bit less crafty than what we normally have. But
Yes, but there's a reason.
there is a reason. So what do we have in this week, Jesse?
We're having what I assume is Budweiser's attempt at a craft beer.
What is it?
It's Budweiser's Copper Lager, aged on real Jim Beam barrels, staves.
So what does that mean?
I guess it's supposed to be like their try at I don't know, barrel aging.
I guess. So it's...
But it says barrel staves. So did they just like stick Jim Beam parts of barrels into the brews?
Could be. I mean, it could be.
Something
Instead of barrel aging the beer itself.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
So I'm expecting maybe a little bit of oaky flavor, maybe some
Maybe.
slight bourbon notes. I'm not really entirely sure. It's a copper lager, so it's not going to be that big full body like a stout or
It's going
a
to be
strong
closer
ale or barley
to like
wine.
a brown ale.
Yeah, so
Probably.
that's even less than that. But
Even
when you think of
less.
like barrel aged beers, it's usually like stouts and
Because
heavy.
copper is closer to
beers.
tan than
True.
brown.
True. So I'm expecting this to just be lager like, maybe
Yeah.
slightly more malty than the Budweiser normally is,
Or
and
what's-
perhaps a little of that oaky flavor. I'm not really entirely sure how much is
I'm
going to be
hoping
in here.
I'm hoping for something other than like I'm hoping for a note that I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I can tell that they put Jim Beam staves of a barrel in there.
Now, why is it that we're having Budweiser, Jesse?
Yeah, why?
No, I'm asking you. I'm genuinely curious. I have absolutely no idea why this Budweiser's here.
Well, Steve, let me tell you.
I know why it's here. Would you like me to say why?
Yes.
It's because on the one song, Sun Hotel, which we will be discussing later on the album On the
Yeah.
Impossible Past, he talks about Budweiser. So why not be of the subject and have a beer that is reminiscent of the album?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we're trying this.
Topical.
And because it is always kind of interesting whenever like a major like macro brewery releases something that's like,
A little different.
oh, not their normal Budweiser.
Yeah, so I'm curious. And it's in these little odd-shaped
Yeah,
bottles.
This is the best part about this beer.
It looks like...
unless it tastes really good. The
Can
bottle.
I tell you what it makes me think of when I see this bottle?
Sure.
If you were to think of like the 1800s, like a medicine
bottle,
Oh,
like
yeah,
someone
I
going
can see
town to
that.
town saying, "Have our magic elixir."
Look out!
If
Someone
you
would
have
throw it.
a bald head, try this magic elixir. Rub it twice on the head before bed, and you'll have a full head of hair.
It may not be the next day, but trust me, keep buying it, and it will happen eventually.
It's a funny shaped bottle, not like the snub nose little bottles that
No, but it's
Coors
close.
banquet
It's
beer
close,
is in,
though,
but
yeah.
it's close to that. So let's say that we give these a crack and try them.
Yeah, I think this. If this beer doesn't taste that great, the bottle and the label are the best things
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
kind of cool, and we always like to try new stuff, so why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And we're gonna be drinking it straight from the bottle, not pouring into glasses, just
Yeah,
because it's
because
Budweiser, and we
America.
feel yeah. And it's a bottle, but they're twist off caps.
Here, let's see if we can get some sound on this.
Yeah. Can you twist that off? Quiet. I should have picked up something there.
The microphone probably picked up a little bit of something.
Do you smell anything?
It smells kind of interesting, actually.
It smells like a sweet lager. It smells very sweet,
Yeah, I think it smells kind of good.
like a sweet lager. I don't know. That's all I have to say about it. Cheers.
Yeah.
You want to cheers it and try it?
Yeah, let's cheers and try.
All right. As we always say on American Brews and Tunes,
Shibbity-beep-boo-doo!
down the hatch. It tastes better when you slurp a little. Just kind of gets the air flowing, you know. Off the bat, it really doesn't taste that different from a Budweiser.
No, it does.
It's real sweet up front, but then the aftertaste is where I get a little different.
It
notes.
definitely tastes a lot better than a Budweiser. I'll say that.
The other notes are hitting me in the after flavor, like after it's already swallowed.
Yeah,
and
it's
gone.
kind of like a.
But I'm having a hard time describing them. What would you say is going on there?
I want to say it's almost caramely, but
I agree with you.
it's not though. Like, you know how in the beer we had last week, the Bourbon County Brand Stout from 2017, you could really taste like those sweet caramel notes.
yes,
And this is almost like
it's almost wanting to have.
you
the
know how
caramel notes.
with like Laffy Taffies, they're
Mhm.
like banana flavored, but you could tell it's like a fake banana flavor.
It's just not right.
Yeah, and this one is kind of like that. It's like I can tell they're trying to go for that kind of sweetness,
Mm-hmm.
but it just kind of tastes strange.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It doesn't taste bad though.
No,
yeah.
I don't dislike it, and I think I do prefer this over.
Over regular
Yeah.
Budweiser, yeah, for sure.
But before we move on to the music, I'm just going to read what it says
It's
on
a
the
little
bottle.
bit more complex than a normal Budweiser.
I'm going to read Jens what it says on the bottle here.
All right, y'all.
It says, we should have read this at the beginning, but why not do it a little out of order, as is per usual on American Brews and Tunes.
We don't do anything in order here.
This is a flavorful American copper lager brewed with 2-row barley and aged on real Jim Beam bourbon barrel staves for a toasted oak aroma. A deliciously nutty taste with caramel rye and vanilla notes and a smooth finish. Smooth finish. I mean, the beer's smooth, and I would say there's a little bit of oakiness to it.
I don't think there's vanilla at all.
I don't get much vanilla. I get a little oakiness in the aftertaste. Just a little kind of creeping up there, you think? What would you say?
Yeah, I would say that the word they use, a deliciously nutty taste,
Mm-hmm.
I think
That's what they're going for?
that is kind of how I would characterize
it might not hit on the deliciously nutty taste, but I think that's what they're going for.
Maybe if you just took that away and it was just one nutty beer.
It's not bad, though. I'm not sure that I would...
No, it's
I
definitely
wouldn't go
not.
out of my way to get it, but it's not bad.
If like
If it was between this and Budweiser, I'd go with
if
this.
they made 12 packs of this and I was like, I just kind of want to get a cheap beer.
You go for that?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why
Definitely better than
not?
all the light beers.
Yeah.
Shall we delve into the album?
Yes.
We shall.
Let's start talking about the Menzingers.
Okay.
Are you just trying to do your deepest voice?
Let's start. Let's review the album. It sounds like you're like something you're about to throw up.
Let's start reviewing the album. That hurts my throat to try to talk that low.
Let's review
All of
the
you at
album.
home, try to talk as low as you can.
It's start.
Gosh.
It's so difficult.
Anyways, let's dive on the Impossible Pass by the Menzingers.
Let's do it.
This is their third album.
I believe so, yeah.
And it's their breakthrough album. It came out in 2012 on Epitaph Records.
Third
It's
album?
the third.
Okay, yeah.
They had 2 prior.
This was their first
but
big
this was the
big
breakthrough
one.
album for sure. This is when they got their sound kind of going where they wanted to, and it just everything clicked for them. I think on this album.
What is their sound in general, Steve?
Oh, it's hard to describe.
It's kind of it's like
rock.
a broad term rock, but then like influences from punk and like Americana in terms of like their lyrics,
Like Bruce Springsteen, like type lyrics songs.
Yeah.
You just got to listen to them. It's really worth checking out. They're very slice of life.
Like, they're dope.
Yeah.
They're dope.
Or as the late great Mac Miller would say, most dope.
On a scale from 1 to dope, they are dope.
Well, I
They're
really
not 1.
don't know how to. It's either 1 or it's dope. I don't really
Yeah.
know how to classify your scale there. Anyways, this is the first album I ever listened to by the Menzingers.
Same.
The first song I ever heard from them is the first track off of here, and that's what sold me on them.
Good
I
things.
was like, this is great.
Yeah.
And the rest is history for me.
Wait,
So
how does that one start again?
I've been having a horrible time. So after that, I just delved into Rented World had just come out, their next album to come. So I was like, these guys are great.
Yeah.
But this album I think is phenomenal.
I'm sure eventually we'll probably review Rented World as well.
We might as well.
Why
I
wouldn't
think
we?
before we dive in to the lyrics in the songs in general, I think that it's safe to say that this is a concept album. Not every single song necessarily lends itself to the one concept that they're going for, but on the impossible past, they're definitely talking about what used to be, right? What used to be and cannot be attained again.
Even by the title of saying
the impossible
on
past.
the impossible past.
So the past is impossible. You can't get it back. You can't recreate anything. It's the past.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the songs fit there.
They definitely do, yeah.
There are certain motifs or images that reoccur in the album, like American Muscle Cars and some other things that they'll harken back to.
There are a lot of situations in the songs where they essentially the song is about something taking place in the past, and along with that some type of memory or
nostalgia,
longing, nostalgia, reminiscing,
sad nostalgia with like a yearning.
Yeah, I would say definitely it's a nostalgia, but it's not like oh, remember that time.
It's like, oh my gosh,
it's like
I wish I
that
was.
time.
Yeah, it's
kind of like not regretting it, but
wishing you were back there.
Wishing that I don't know, something like you were that way now or something like that.
And the album that we had reviewed previous, like we said, was After the Party, and that album dealt
also
with
kind of a concept album as well.
It is, and it deals with leaving your 20s and going into your 30s. So this is kind of probably about mid 20s, where you're not a youngster anymore, you're not a teenager, you're not living that free lifestyle, and you're kind of wishing you were still. That's where they're at in this album, mid 20s, looking back at the late teens probably. It took me a long time to figure out what the title of this album was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I used to see the cover all over the place, and it's kind of a close-up shot of some cleavage.
Yeah.
And so I always used to just think of it as, oh, it's the cleavage album.
Yeah, you would always say that, and I would always
I was
be
like, hey, put on the cleavage album.
I would always be like, I guess you could call it that, but that's not what it actually is.
I know, but yeah. Anyways, shall we dive in?
We shall.
All right, I'm going to recommend...
The whole album? Me too.
I'm just going to go with 4 songs to pick out as highlights.
I'm not.
I think the whole album's great, but I'm putting 4 highlights just because...
But I'm guessing that whatever you say, I'll probably agree with.
Okay, well, I would recommend the first song, which is Good Things.
You mean the good things are happening to me?
No.
Ain't no doubt about it.
I think it's
From
about
Toy Story?
the opposite of Good Things.
Yeah.
And the opposite of Toy Story.
There are no toys coming to life in this song.
Not that I know of. There might be some weird subtext or reading between the lines that I just haven't discovered yet. But
I doubt it,
I don't think Buzz Lightyear's in there. But like we said, this song's starts off with "I've been having a horrible time," and it's real like nice and soft. But then once all the instruments come in, it's a banger. I've been having a horrible time. Dun, 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 dun. And so it's just like literally he's where he is, probably his mid 20s, and he's just like really having a tough time.
Yeah, and the next line
the bridge,
the next line kind of probably encapsulates what the song's about, right?
The bridge does.
I've been closing my eyes to find how all good things fall apart.
Fall apart, yeah.
Yeah.
But the bridge is where he's like when we would take car rides in your American muscle car.
Yeah.
I felt American for once in my life. I never felt it again.
Yeah. So like looking back on a different time in your life and realizing how good you had it then, I guess.
Yeah, and just really yearning for that to come back.
Yeah.
But it can't. He can never feel it again.
It can't. It's impossible.
This song's a rager.
It
It's like
is.
to just
It's
put
so
this
good.
on and scream it in my car.
Yeah.
Can't scream it while I'm inside with
Did
other
they play
people.
this at the show on this past Sunday?
Oh, heck yeah, they did. They played a lot off of this album.
They did.
It was mainly this album and After the Party they played from.
After the party, yeah. I was kind of hoping they would play us some songs from Rented World, but they
Me
didn't.
too, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's okay, I guess.
I guess. Shall we move on?
We shall.
This song is called Burn After Writing.
Not like Burn After Reading.
No, different.
The
The Coen Brothers
Coen
movie.
Brothers movie, yeah.
Yeah, that's a comedy
That's
of
a very
errors.
funny movie.
This is not a comedy of errors. This is another song, and it's the last song. Good Things was sang by Greg Barnett.
Yeah, it's
He's-
one of their singers.
He's got a more of a deeper voice, I think.
Deeper and
I just say
more gravelly.
deeper and a little bit more gravelly. And the other singer, whose name is Tom May's, got a maybe like a more slightly more trebly voice.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to put it in like general,
Yeah, I mean, if you
if you
hear
want to
the
classify them as general stuff, you could say like he's a tenor and
if you listen to the first song, Good Things,
His
and then you listen to
baritone.
this second song, Burn After Writing, you can tell the difference in the vocalists.
yeah.
But
At
they're
first, whenever I first listened to them, I was like, I didn't realize that there were two singers, and so I was like, wow, this guy's like singing weird, like differently. And,
he's really switching it up big
yeah,
time.
and then I think at one point you were like, yeah, there are two singers, and then I was like, I like the other singer better. Who's what's his name? Greg.
Off of the first song.
Yeah.
I like him a little bit better, but I like them both
now
a
I
lot.
like them both now.
Yeah,
I like them both
a lot.
equally now.
And when they do sing together, their voices are nice. It's a nice blend. This is a good song. It's got a nice segue between Good Things and Burn After Writing. And I really like when they double the vocal part in octaves.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds very nice.
Yeah.
There's some good imagery in the song. But that's all I really have to say about it.
Okay.
Shall we move on to the obituaries, track number 3?
We shall.
My next recommendation. I think this is probably one of the catchiest songs they've ever written.
Yep.
Um,
Definitely.
there is a lot of F words in this song.
Yeah.
So it's not radio friendly because the chorus is just the F word a lot.
They're just saying, I will
F
this
this
up.
I F it. No,
I know it.
but it's so catchy.
I will it up.
but it's
I know
just
it.
so good. And it's about the exact theme that the album is about. It's talking about old times. Like the first line is, we stumbled and stared at the carnival lights that lit up New York City.
Lit up New York City.
From a rooftop in Brooklyn that was covered in bad graffiti. And then I let 1,000 splinters pierce right through my
Spoiled liver.
whatever else was left of it. So he's reminiscing of like that old time of being on a rooftop, drinking with your buddies.
Yeah. And just like partying as like a
Mm-hmm. And
younger
then
child.
obviously he's older now, and it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
I've been fine. I've been spending all my time reading the obituaries.
Thinking about death and whatnot.
He could be talking about literal death, or he could be talking about I'm reminiscing of what's
reminiscing about
dead and gone.
Like obituaries were
past.
written about your past.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it is about actual obituaries, but oh my goodness, is this song so catchy?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
This is one where when they play it live, everybody sings along.
Everybody sings along, and it's just so dope.
It is such a good song. Shall we move on to track number 4?
Yeah.
This song is called Gates, and it's
Gates. Oh,
my third recommendation.
I was gonna say, yep. So far we agree 100% on the recommendations.
When we
Or
saw
I
them
agree
open
with
up
you.
for Bayside, I tweeted at them. I was like, "You guys should play Gates." And then at the show, they're like, "This song was a request." I was hoping that it was me, but maybe someone else requested. I don't know.
Probably someone else did
Yeah.
as well.
I think that this is similar in theme. I guess. I mean, it's talking about the past. It's talking about him being lonely, like talking about his lonely soul.
Yeah.
I think there might be some religious connotations in this because he
Probably,
says, "I'm
yeah.
marching up to your gates today to throw my lonely soul away."
Right, and like the normal trope of culture is like the pearly gates of heaven.
Yeah, so
whatever.
he's marching up to those gates to throw his lonely soul away because I don't need it. You can take it back.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a sad song. I mean, it's talking about being so lonely. Like, and he's like, I don't need my soul. I remember all those times, and now I'm just lonely.
Yep.
Moving on
So good though.
to track number 5. Is it number 5?
5.
Yeah, it's called Ava House.
Ava House.
Or as we say in Pittsburgh, Ava Haas.
Ava House.
Yeah.
Or as we say in Pittsburgh.
Ava Haas. They're not from Pittsburgh. They're from Scranton, PA, which is a lot closer to Philly.
Yep.
So they're Flyers fans. Boo. Unless you're Flyers fans, we like you. We just don't like the Flyers. Well, I don't know about you, Jesse, but I'm not a Flyers fan.
I've got nothing against them.
Well, if you're a Flyers fan, boo Capitals.
I'm a Minnesota Wild fan.
That's a wild, bold choice, but whatever. What do you think about this song? I think this song has one of the most different feels than
Definitely
the rest
does.
of
It's
the
like
album.
slower. It starts off with the Ava, are you trying to get high?
It just has that drum beat kind of driving for most of the song.
Holds this I remember whenever I first listened to this album, this song came on and I was like, I don't really like it as much as the other ones.
Yeah, this one didn't
But-
strike me very much at first.
It's similar to what we were talking about last week about how an album, you got to give it a chance and you got to re-listen to songs that maybe you don't like at first because songs do grow on you eventually, is what we've found. This was one of those songs for me. Whenever I first listened to it, I was like, man, I don't really know if I like this song very much. But as I continued to listen to the album,
It
I
really
was like,
grew on you.
yeah, for sure.
Fair enough.
And like the for me, I guess like the slow single note quarter note drum beat at the beginning, I was like, so boring. But as you get used to the Menzingers sound, their drummer, he doesn't do a lot.
He's not flashy.
It's not flashy, yeah.
No.
But he's a solid drummer though.
Agreed. Let's move on to track number 6, which is called Sun Hotel. The first of 2 songs that begin with I Remember.
I remember you well
At
the Sun Hotel.
This is again another song about the past.
Yeah.
But this one again is about being in I'm assuming his hometown where he's feeling lonely and reminiscing about the past because I'm going to recite one of my favorite lines from this album, which also ties into our beer.
Ooh.
And this song says, I'm pretty sure this corner of the world is the loneliest corner in the whole world. Maybe it's me or the bartender, this Budweiser, the other customers, when all the eyes are glued on the 6 o'clock news for another fire and another successful deer season. I'll leave you alone, you'll leave me alone.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be something relationship-wise going on there that he's singing about specifically.
Seems like it, yeah.
But he's being mundane, being lonely and being in this mundane place where everyone's just watching the news for either a fire or the deer season. So it's nothing that's
He's I feel like this is a really good representation of
that point in your 20s when you don't feel like you're going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you were trying to think of, but that's what I think of.
Feeling looking at this Budweiser, I don't really know how I'm going to say this.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going.
About, I guess, the mundaneness of everything.
Just same.
When you're in that type of emotional state, all those simple things that he's saying have way more impact on you. Being in a bar alone, seeing all these other people, barflies, if you will, and realizing that, I don't know, realizing that you're alive, that you're there, and that it's maybe he's saying it's all pointless or something like
Could
that.
be.
Oh, great, another fire on the news, another deer season.
Could be.
Successful deer season or whatever.
He's just remembering.
But then he's
a
he's
certain
trying
time at the Sun Hotel.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out why he's feeling that way. Maybe it's me or the bartender or this Budweiser or the other customers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a very dope line.
It is. Shall we move on to the flip side of the album?
Yes. On to the B side.
Track number 7 is called Sculptors and Vandals. This also starts with I Remember. I remember. And it starts off with that line kind of a half speed. And after the first verse, he does the I Remember one more time, and it really speeds up double time. And almost, I don't want to say it turns into a punk song, but it gets faster.
And
I just really always like that when it speeds up and gets faster.
Yeah, same here.
I think this song has some relationship connotations. In one of the verses he said, "You said sometimes I needed you around. You said my conveniences are so convenient that you wanted to be interesting, then you fell asleep."
Mm-hmm.
But,
and you fell asleep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I definitely think it's a little bit more relationship oriented than some of the other things on this album. But the song ends with him saying, "Walk home single, seeing double." So he's
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question there. Shall we move on?
We shall.
All right. Track number 8 is called Mexican Guitars, and this is my last
What a
recommendation.
great song, yeah.
Yeah, this is a really great song. This song is definitely about reminiscing about
And
an old friendship.
Yeah, I believe this song is on The Impossible Past.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right.
One of my other favorite lines from this album is on here as well.
Yeah.
At the start of the second verse, and he says, "You were an old friend who covered up your innocence with bad tattoos. All the bands you loved in high school, the ones that you said that I had to listen to all the time. I did what I did to get away from."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's, you're reminiscing about your old friend.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
the reason why it's called Mexican Guitars is because they're talking about playing those chords they learned on their Mexican guitars.
Yeah, and I think someone from the band posted a picture, and he was like, "This is the guitar that I'm referencing in Mexican guitars," and I think it was like a Mexican Telecaster or a Stratocaster or something like that. It was a Fender Mexican build instead of an American build.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Whenever I've pictured like Mexican nylon string guitars,
Yeah.
mariachi bands.
Yeah, whenever I first heard this song, I was like,
Well, yeah,
they're singing about
mariachi
mariachi band songs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like how the first line in the song is "You were an old friend," and the very last line in the song is "You were an old friend." So it's sandwiched in "You were an old friend."
Yeah. Oh, I'm just thinking of like these songs in my head.
Yeah, they're
So
so
good.
catchy. Moving on to track number 9, which is "On the Impossible Past." Title track. This is a short song.
Yeah.
And it's just he's strumming his guitar. Bring, 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 bring. We took rides in your American muscle car. So there's the muscle car coming back where they
American. Oh wait,
Right.
the shadows.
share our smokes. But he also says I felt American. But that theme comes back, and obviously he's remembering that same
That
instance
same
from the bridge
instance,
of
yeah.
the first song.
Yeah.
So this is the Impossible Past, on the Impossible
Right.
Past. This song flawlessly segues into the next song, Nice Things. And if you didn't know better, you'd say they were the same song. If I could recommend more songs, this would probably be another one, but
You can do whatever you want.
I'm limiting myself to 4.
That's why I
have
said
to.
I recommend the whole album.
I do too, but if someone wanted just a couple songs to pick from,
Oh, okay.
I wanted to
Yeah.
highlight those for them.
Yeah, and
That's why I
think
picked them
you
out.
did a good job.
Yeah. But Nice Things is a great song. It takes that same melodic theme from the short song On the Impossible Past and carries that over into
Yeah.
the faster, more full band version. And they switch singers. Greg was singing On the Impossible Past. Tom sings Nice Things. The verses are super catchy. The chorus is catchy. Do you want nice things? Sure you do. And it's about them, I think, reminiscing about the past and kind of wishing that things were better.
Yeah.
But also probably about material things a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something like that has to do. I don't know. Partially.
I don't know, but
Partially.
shall we continue the theme about reminiscing about the past?
Yeah, let's do it up.
All right, track number 11 is called Casey.
This is definitely reminiscing about the past.
Yes, and if I could recommend more than 4 songs, this would also be in there. I think this is a live staple.
Yeah.
Most of these songs on this album, I think I've heard them play live. Maybe all but like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But every time I've seen them, they play Casey. And this is him reminiscing about his buddy Casey.
Mm-hmm.
In the chorus is, "Me and Casey used to get high before we did the dishes. Oh, every evening, me and Casey always used to get drunk before we did the dishes. High before boredom." But yeah, it's just him and his buddy Casey. And who gets drunk before doing dishes?
Makes doing dishes more interesting.
I just think it's probably a bad combo. You'd probably break a lot of glasses.
Drop a lot of glasses. Yeah.
Whoops. But yeah, he's just talking about his buddy Casey and reminiscing about them being younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really interesting because I feel like the whole theme of this album, I've had like those thoughts before, but I've never like dwelled on them. You know,
You never dwelled on
like thinking about the past, like reminiscing in my head and like wishing to go back.
My whole like first year of moving to Nashville, after moving to Nashville, was like this.
Really?
Yeah, like this album is the theme song of my first year in Nashville. Pretty much was all kind of those like what's going on? Like
I mean like like regret, like unsure of
kind of like just
your decision.
wistfully thinking about the past.
Oh, in good contexts?
Well, yeah, because the past was good.
Yeah.
Like I missed all my buddies and all my good times, and I was like far away and like starting a new life.
Yeah.
And I was in my mid-20s trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what... I don't want to project my own experiences on what the band's writing about because obviously they could be talking about completely different things, but that's what I get out of it.
The general kind of feeling of the album, yeah.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe I'm interpreting this all wrong. Who knows? Anything's possible, you know?
If you just believe.
Everything's possible if you believe. If you just believe.
If you believe hard enough that the earth is flat, it'll become flat.
No.
You crazy person who believes that?
What's that movie where they're ice skaters with Will Ferrell and Napoleon Dynamite?
Die Hard.
No, it's not.
No, not Talladega Nights.
What is it?
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory. Do you remember Napoleon Dynamite's character? He's like, if you can dream it, you can be it. I think that's his answering machine.
Yeah. That's his answering machine.
It's so goofy, yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Call. Just remember this. If you can dream it, you can be it.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
The penultimate track is called I Can't Seem to Tell.
Ah.
And this song's got another kind of interesting feel to it.
What a catchy chorus.
I can't seem to
it is.
tell.
It is one. It is.
I can't seem to tell. Yeah, I mean the song is super catchy, but I really like I think it's in the second verse, when he says, "Remember that time that I had a conscience?"
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. And he just really stretches out that pause in between.
Yeah, me neither.
But there's a pause between remember when I had a conscience and then
Yeah,
pause.
I think it's like, remember the days when I had a conscience?
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, it's like,
but I can't seem to tell.
Yeah, it's like implying like a
You remember when I had a conscience?
where someone's like, do I remember?
Yeah. So it's painted pretty well.
And he's like, yeah, me neither.
You want to move on to the last track number 12?
Let's do it.
Track number 12 is called Freedom Bridge.
Freedom Bridge.
And I had initially thought that this song was about ODing. Kind of similarly to on the most recent album After the Party, the song Boy Blue.
Yeah.
Because they referenced some specific people, and I always thought they were talking about ODing. But after doing a little bit of research, like we always do for the podcast, I found out that this was a little bit more about suicide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the title apparently was taken from the Freedom Bridge, which is on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Turnpike, not Turnpike.
Yeah.
It's north of Scranton a little bit, and it's known for its history of suicides.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's a little bit there. But I also read, and I'm going to just quote Lyric Genius, one of our favorite sites for getting a little bit of insight.
Kind of figure out.
Yeah. What they say is, it offers an underlying political commentary that sums up on the impossible past's key critiques of the failure of the American dream. By selecting specific characters, and those are the people who they reference in their verses. If you listen to the song, you'll hear them reference a couple different names. Tom creates a personal, interconnected picture of disenfranchised Middle America, also weaving his own experience in the bigger picture through these seemingly anonymous stories.
Interesting.
So I don't really touch upon. I think there is some political and kind of failure of the American dream, but I don't really get that out of this album. I know that there is.
It seems more personal than that.
That's what I get out of it. I get more personal than political.
Is the American dream even a political idea? Isn't that
the failure could be a result of the political climate?
Yeah, I suppose.
The American dream is not what it used to be.
No, definitely not.
No, the American dream was before, I'd say, is what to get married and have a house and have a kid. Pave your own way.
When was that like the main
golden
American dream, the
greatest generation,
golden age, the 50s?
That was like the greatest generations thing, I'd say.
Is that the 50s?
Yeah, somewhere around there, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah, you like picture what's that one show? Leave It to Beaver. Kind of like that, or whatever else, but I mean, don't you think that a concept like the American dream would like
evolve,
constantly be evolving?
You'd think so, but like there's the American dream, which kind of is
pick yourself up by your own bootstraps and make something out of your life, be successful,
I guess so.
pretty much.
But
Then the question becomes, what is success? I don't know.
I don't know. It could be whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But in summary, On the Impossible Pass is a phenomenal. In summary,
Let me restart. Zoop, 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 zoop. Reverse.
In summary, On the Impossible Past is a fantastic. Just kidding. It's a fantastic album from front to back. I think it's meant to be listened to the whole way through.
Oh yeah.
The themes, I guess I could say, are pretty reoccurring.
Pretty apparent. Yeah.
It's not a concept album in the way that there's a story happening the whole way through, but there's
But I mean,
there's elements that pop up again.
There's a thread,
common thread,
a thread that goes through
a
all
concept that goes through all the songs. But go ahead and check this whole album, guys. I think you'll like it.
the songs. Yeah.
If not, then you're crazy.
Actually, that might be a true statement.
Probably not. Some people, some people don't like.
Some
things.
people just don't like it. Some people are crazy.
Shall we look towards next week?
Yes, we shall. What are we going to be doing?
Episode number
next
60 is
week?
going to be a return to our regular format, which it's been a little while since we've done
It
that.
has been. It actually has. Oh yeah, it has been. Wow.
Because we had a repeat episode, and then a one-off, and then a recommendation, and then this is another one-off. So next week we'll be talking about 2 different albums, and we'll have 2 different brews. So finally, we're back.
We're back.
We're
back to the
We'll be
original.
really going back to the concept album. Like I remember I had you listen to Silverstein's Shipwreck in the Sand.
Yep.
Where there was one story that goes the whole way through. I'm going to give you another album that has a story. This is by a band called Direct Hit, a fellow Midwestern band. I know
Yeah.
you're a Midwesterner
Are they from,
yourself. From
Michigan?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, so very Midwestern.
Wisconsin. Probably have some good cheese curds up in there.
Probably. The album's called Brainless God.
Oh.
So there's
Interesting.
definitely some afterlife stuff in there.
Yeah.
But it's
Definitely some
very
religious
interesting. Yeah, very interesting to hear their concept because it's a little bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you dive in and see what you think, though.
Okay.
What should I listen to?
You will be listening to an album by the band Wilco. And that album is called
Cowell.
Go.
No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, it'd be Oklahoma.
Are you trying to do Wilco backwards?
Yeah.
It's
Oklahoma.
Oaklow, right?
No, I'm actually trying to say
Oaklew.
it backwards. Oklahoma.
You're trying too hard.
Back in the day, we figured out how to say Final Fantasy backwards. And if you did a recording of it saying that and played that backwards, it would sound like Final Fantasy.
That's weird. Didn't we also figure out how to say I like beer backwards?
Yeah, we did. You're right.
I don't remember how to do it.
Anyway, for all of you listening, this is how you say Final Fantasy backwards.
How is it?
Yisanef.
Really?
Yep.
Yes.
Yisanef.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
But anyway, back to what I'm gonna have you listen to.
I need to know what to listen to.
Yeah, it's the album Yankee Hotel Foxtrot
That's quite
by
a title.
Wilco. And it's way more accessible than what I last recommended to you.
It was so long ago. What
which
was the last?
Animal Collective.
Oh, goodness. Everything's more accessible for the most part. I don't want to say everything because there's definitely things that aren't.
Yeah.
But good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
It's a fantastic album. I think you'll like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to getting back to our regularly scheduled episodes.
Of course, we will be doing one-offs, and if any of you guys would like to recommend an album for us to listen to,
Send us a message.
please feel free.
Look us up on all the social media things.
All those social meds.
Like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're American Brews and Tunes. You can go to our website, which is brewsandtunespodcast.com, or you can send us an email at americanbrewsandtunes@gmail.com.
Do you think there's an app for beer called Social Mead?
I don't know,
Like
but there should
media?
be. Social needs. There should be if there
Social
isn't.
Meds.
Hashtag, we wrote that. Hashtag, it was Jesse,
Hashtag,
not
if
me.
that app comes out after this episode, we get all the rights to it.
Anyways, we're looking forward to next week. Hopefully you guys like this episode. If not, sorry. Check out some more because I promise there's some good ones in here. We tell some great jokes.
They're all fantastic.
I guess so. Anyways, shall we finish off these brews and sign off?
Michelle, any final thoughts on the brew?
It got a little bit less desirable as it warmed up, but
Yeah.
that's not unexpected.
The typical
with macro
sign
brews.
of a macro.
Yeah, I feel like
macro brewery beer.
We've been stretching this beer up for 35 minutes now.
Yeah,
And I feel like they're meant to be drank a little quicker.
And mine's getting kind of low.
Yeah, so it's
The
warm,
temperature
warmed
is
up quite a
even
bit.
even warmer.
Yeah. So, anyways, as we always say on American Brews and Tunes,
And if you have a beer,
Say
say
it
the
with
magic
us.
word with us.
Once again, my name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of American Brews and Tunes.
Let's try to harmonize it. Of American brews and tunes.
That was weird. Never again. See you guys.
Peace.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-da.